Liverpool version. Confirm and go live. Confirm and go live. Oh, we're live now. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Footy to Level 1. I am one of your hosts, Alistair Kennedy, and here with me as always, the former Twilight Princess of all games, the current Twilight Princess of YouTube, the former CEO of Xbox himself.
Mr. Andy Rocket here, as always.
Yes.
Always here.
Back to life. Back to reality. Do you know it's funny? Like, even though we can skip our own shows, but Tuesday's the religious one. This is the Kettleism episode where we've been here for the past 8, almost 9 years at the end of the summer. Now we get to look at each other's faces.
Like longer.
It does feel like longer. Much longer. You're the worst to work with, as I had my rant on the news because you're the biggest diva. Because you're currently, I think you skipped the Red Wine Alley stage, or you're on the cusp of it. I'm not quite sure what stage you're at of your journey through alleyism. Anyway, how's things been?
It's because I've spent so much time with you on the show.
You're becoming me.
You made me into you. That's what it is.
Is it like a werewolf bite that takes ages?
It takes a long time, yeah, to manifest. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm like, this is like the pre-E3 time, right?
Pre-3?
Really
no. Can we call it what I call it? Can
pre-3, okay,
pre-3? Yeah.
Okay, fair. Pre-3, it's pre-3 times, right? So like, there's like bits and pieces happening, but like we're waiting for Nintendo to announce this fucking Switch thing.
Yes.
To see what else is the deal with everything, and like, it's annoying this year because obviously E3 is not technically on. It's like the fucking digital events, so that's going to spread everything further. I love E3 when it's like, here's E3. There's 4 fucking days. Bam, 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 bam. That's it. Done. Cool.
True that. Although we're both off,
I love that. It's amazing. I am not off. I'm going to be working.
That's unusual for you. Every year for the past at least 3 or 4 years, you've religiously had it off. Possibly longer, but the past 3 or 4 years to recollection.
For sure, I've had the last 4 years off, maybe 5.
Yeah, weird. Mine's just happened to coincide.
Not this year. I'll be working.
Mine just happened to coincide.
Yeah, no, we'll for sure still do it.
Oh, we'll do coverage. Even if it's late and it's not live and whatnot, and we'll still do coverage of E3. Don't worry about that. And as a reminder, most of our coverage that week will be E3 based, because if you're not excited about E3, then what the hell are you even doing? Why are you watching this? You should be excited.
Probably, like, I would dare say we'll probably have extra stuff going on at the weekend as well, because I know there's E3 stuff happening over the weekend. So. For
sure. There's going to be something that gets me and you both hyped, and I think it's going to come in the form of surprising PlayStation exclusives, getting some Xbox exclusives, and whatever the hell Nintendo decide to show us finally.
Like, if we can work it out, like, there's definite possibilities for some live reaction type shows. Like, I enjoyed doing that one for the PlayStation one that we did.
I'll actually need to go into our graphic design department for the show to get them to do the boxes. And can you make sure Andy can see himself, since he's the star? You know, Andy needs a bigger box.
I need to be shining!
Because he wants you to see him from just above his nipples up, because that's his best. Yeah, that's all we get to see. And I've had to resize, even though I've got my PlayStation t-shirt on.
Don't rub your nipples! Oh my God. Yeah, like that's kind of got me excited, and I've downloaded like a couple of things and been playing a couple of things because I'm like, oh, some things are happening with these type of games. I should play the games that I have access to of these series.
Nice. I also downloaded something that I wanted to play, and I got it and I went, do you know what? I'm not going to play this. And then an event happened that we'll talk more about on Friday, or did we talk about it on Friday? I can't remember, but it got me excited. I'm like, do you know what? I need to play this, and I'm glad I did. So that's a good thing. Also, there's a potential. Well, I don't know if this one's happening, but I've been listening to a lot of retroactive gaming. Well, I've listened to all 2 of their current episodes with friend of the show, Fred Rojas, and I'm going to hopefully be jumping on a show with him once schedules align and life's not as hectic. But what Fred's doing is like 2 a month, like a bi-weekly sort of thing, rather than a weekly one, which is cool. It gives him more time to plan it out and kind of. I was wondering because I was worried because his last one with Jam was kind of like he was talking how him and Jam managed to fit it into the 90-minute slot for the episode, and I'm like, wow, how am I going to do that? And then I realised I've been practicing for the past year right here because we cut the show down. So I'm sure I'll manage. So anyway, I've got that. I didn't play. I had a kind of quiet week in gaming. Just tiring week between work, short staffed, and children, as always. So very little was played. But I did play a significant amount of time with the game that I did play this week. Yeah, I'm excited for E3. Really excited. Although, surprisingly, I own 3 versions of this game now. Don't remember purchasing it on one of the platforms, and one of them is via Game Pass. But I lined them up. I had them running on all 3 consoles and going, okay, you're the best version. That's weird. Not where I expected it to look best, but it does. But I will reveal all shortly. But yes, haven't been doing much. Like you said, pre-3. Not even been watching too much shows wise or anything really, so
what are you most excited about for E3? That's what I want to know.
Being honest, a Switch update at this point, well, there's several things. So Switch update's I'll do my top 3. So Switch update's got to be number 1, right? Be it Switch Pro, new Super Switch, Wii U, whatever they call it, because I do like my Switch, but I realise more so now than ever it's been kind of pushed to the side because next gen's ruined it. I need a jump. I need like a PS4 Pro, Xbox One X jump. So probably that. And that comes before the games, because I don't think the games are going to surprise me. I think my prediction of the games that we've not heard a lot about have been held back specifically to coincide with this announcement. That's
right.
Bayonetta 3, Breath of the Wild 2, Metroid 4, Splatoon. Maybe not Splatoon 3, but that could work on either console. But yeah, those 3 games, they want to show them to you first on Switch Pro. That's why we've not seen anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Bayonetta 3 isn't a big game. It's not like an open world giant thing. And it got announced like 3 years ago. Metroid 4's had its issues. They've got a playable demo somewhere. They've not just playable, but they've got showable footage, 100%. And Breath of the Wild 2, we already seen bits of it like 2 years ago. So yeah. Second thing I'm most excited about is, it's kind of a tough one. Okay, joint second is both PlayStation and Xbox. What we're getting? Where's the next year going to take us after a year of delays? Like, because apart from Halo, I don't see anything from Xbox. And sure, we know about Horizon 2, but does PlayStation have anything else up its sleeve to drop on us this year? I think they do, and I think it's a brand new IP. I've got this feeling. Yeah, hot takes live on air. I definitely think we're going to see something new from PlayStation. I think it's just.
What do you think PlayStation will do?
PlayStation is going to show us more of Gran Turismo, which get delayed.
So do you think they will actually do a state of play type thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like a cavalcade of upcoming games, just to go, look, here's a lot of stuff. Xbox is going to be more. I think there's going to be a few Game Pass available right now. Boom, there it is on Game Pass. Boom, just to get you even more excited about Game Pass. I definitely think we might see something from Playground Games. Fable, Forza Horizon 5 is the worst kept secret in gaming history. We're definitely going to get an extended look, possibly even a beta of Halo Infinite. I think that's almost a dead cert. Everyone would agree, because if they don't have a playable beta by this point, we're not getting one. I mean, this game's taken next year.
I think you're probably right. There's going to be a beta. I think it's going to be a Game Pass only beta.
Yeah, 100%. So I'll bat that back over to you. What are you excited for, Andy, about E3? What are you most excited for? What are you expecting?
Microsoft exclusives is number 1. That's what I'm most excited for.
That's unusual. I wish I could play this to Andy from a few years ago. You're definitely Ali from back then.
100%, yeah. But the thing is, like, Microsoft has like been buying all these studios, right? And like it's been now like what, at least
2-3 years.
3 years since they bought some of these people. Some of these studios haven't released a game.
Oh, there we go. Like, cameo from the wife, even though she said she wasn't going to come through. Everybody, Tasha.
I need to pull up my drink.
Nah.
Oh. But the Microsoft, they bought all the studios, and it's been 2 or 3 years now since they bought a lot of them. Obviously, they just bought Bethesda like very recently, but the other studios, a lot of them have been spilling away making games. Now's the time to go bam, 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 bam. Here's all these games. Here's the next 2 years worth of games that are coming out, and I can't wait to see what that looks like, because I already know that I've got access to all of these without spending any fucking extra money outside of my Game Pass. Like that's exciting for me, because it's kind of like if Marvel, well, actually no, Marvel already does it because they've got Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
But it's like
DC finally done their universe.
It's as if like Netflix came out and said every single movie that you ever want to watch is going to be on this
For free. Yeah, no additional.
You already pay for it, so cool, fine, happy with that. Like that's fucking amazing. So I'm just looking forward to seeing like what games that I'm going to get to play, or at least to try over the next 2 years. And I think Microsoft's going to knock it fucking out the park with this one. Like you're going to get hit after hit after hit after hit. Like they'll show you Elder Scrolls, they'll show you fucking Fallout, Starfield, like all that's coming. Like Starfield will come first, I think, and then like Elder Scrolls will be later. But we might get Starfield this year, maybe.
We're not.
Which would be amazing. But like there's like those games I'm excited for, like Hellblade I'm excited for. I want to know what are the Gears team doing?
Gears 6.
Like, are they making new Gears? Are we going to see that? Like, is it coming next year? What's happening? Obviously, like Halo, I've got no interest in Halo, but I could have fun playing the multiplayer for sure. Like an up-to-date multiplayer, because I've played the old ones and it's like, this is fucking old shit. Like, I don't like this. But an up-to-date one, yeah, I could enjoy that.
Yeah, and like that's the thing about Game Pass, it's going to make you play games that you would never even normally try. Like there's one out at the end of next month that I wouldn't have bought necessarily because I think it's isometric, but it's top-down cyberpunk called The Ascent, I think. It's exclusive, and I've got that preloaded on my console simply because might as well load it up, you know. Like how many times have I spent, I can't count Returnal into this, but like how many times have I spent top dollar on a game and then been like, I hate this. Whereas on Game Pass, if I don't like it, I'm like, cool, don't like it. Whereas like Gears 5, it was the first Gears game that I've never purchased outright. So, but they've got me as a Game Pass subscriber up to the end of next year. So here's one for you, like swinging back around to Bethesda. Like obviously Starfield's the big one that we've got to see, and there was a point raised, I think it was on possibly Xcast. Gary Whitt had a good point, and I'll tell you about that after you answer. But basically, everyone keeps talking about Starfield and being announced, but no one's really saying like, what kind of game is this? Like, is it going to be a simulation game? Like, they could go totally left field. This could be a visual novel, Andy. Like, the total like.
I think so.
The belief is that it's going to be Skyrim in space in a bigger scale, or Fallout in space. Yep. What do you agree with that one? Is that what you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be a combination between Skyrim and No Man's Sky, because I think that they will have traversable base areas.
Like
Outer Worlds. Like a lot of people would like compare the idea of Starfield to Outer Worlds, and Outer Worlds is all right, but you can't go up and fly around in a spaceship like at all.
So you think this is going to be a combination of basically Outer Worlds and No Man's Sky? Yeah.
I think it's going to be kind of like that, and I think that's going to be cool as fuck.
Because the worlds will be populated, which is part of my thing that I can't get to grips with in No Man's Sky. You're kind of in barren.
It's so empty, yeah.
And that's not for me. So yeah, I see that, and like there was like other answers as well, but here was Gary Whitt's point. Sorry, I'm kind of paraphrasing because I can't remember what he said, but he basically said that there's a certain box for AAA games. You don't see a AAA game coming out and being like an indie darling where it's like brand new mechanics or like, you know, going too far left field. They always kind of stay within a framework of they know what works. There's less risks being taken with AAA games these days. And it's a fact with movies as well. Like look at Marvel. Like it's paint by number sometimes, Marvel, up until you get to the like crossover movies, but in general they know what sells, and it's a proven formula. So I agree with what you said, that it's going to be a combination of those two, because there's people speculating it'll be a space simulation like Elite Dangerous, I can't see them doing that because that's not going to sell. If they can advertise this and it looks like fucking Skyrim in space, people are going to buy it. And look, they could have customization parts. They could have like parts that's like Elite Dangerous, you know, like management style parts within the game. Because I think they're going to go above and beyond of, like, you know how in those games you can now have a wife, you can build a house. I think it's going to go beyond that. I think it's going to be, you can found a colony, you can do X, Y, and Z, but you're not going to an empty world like in Mass Effect even is guilty of this. No Man's Sky is very guilty of it. I think you're going to land in these places and it's going to be like landing on a world. Skyrim was a map. I think this is the next level of you're going to have a galaxy. I don't think it's going to be a universe. I think it's going to be like X amount of planets. I definitely do.
Yeah, like 20, 30 planets, maybe.
Something like even 10, Andy. 10 full planets with Skyrim-sized maps on them.
Really insane, yeah.
That's nuts, even to think of that. Even 5 planets, like 5 Skyrim-ish size maps. And you know, some of them might be hostile, some of them you can turn like, and there might be a war going on. There's obviously going to be politics, a bit like in Skyrim. Like, imagine that on a bigger scale. I think this is going to be the next step. And then what's going to happen is Elder Scrolls 6, you're going to get the entire world. It's not just going to be one map. So you're potentially talking Elder Scrolls. Imagine Elder Scrolls 6 and it's a bit like online where you finally get Skyrim, you finally get Tamriel, you finally get Morrowind, and they're all joined together and you finally get the full map that fans have been fantasizing about for years. And to an extent it's already there in ESO, but and I hear that game's better now, but like this is what I think is the direction for them to take.
Right, that game, it doesn't feel right, it's got the wrong feel.
Yeah, I know, but like this is what I mean, like their big step like from Oblivion to Skyrim was massive, you know, with the choices, open-end quests and stuff. The only way to take that further in my mind is to give me an entire world for like Skyrim. And don't get me wrong, I think if they do one world for Elder Scrolls 6, it's going to be vastly detailed and fucking massive. But I think in Starfield, you're going to have space stations and things like that, and each world's going to have like a map. And that, I can see what Gary Whitta was saying. He says like they're going to take less risks. They know what sells. Skyrim sells. Fallout sells. Why would they deviate from what they've already done, which is a tried and tested formula? There's no way they're going to experiment, because what they would do is they're like, look guys, if you show Starfield and it's basically a space sim, people are going to go, fuck this, I want Skyrim in space. Somebody has said these words in a boardroom. Totally. I know they have. So that's what's happening, and I'm cool with that, because
the elevator pitch for that game 100% is Skyrim in space.
Skyrim in space.
What the game is. Yep. That's how they've got approval for the project to go ahead.
Absolutely.
Like I hear you're like got a new project you're wanting to like to pitch to the board. Yep. Like give me a 1 sentence pitch. Okay, Skyrim in space.
3 words. Cool. Skyrim in space.
Make a full pitch. Make that happen.
Yep.
And they've done it.
And they've done it, and you get like, even if it's 5 planets, I'll be happy with 5 planets. But like, say they do 10, that'll blow me away. And they've got space stations, like places you can go and visit. And imagine a mix between like the relationships you could have in Skyrim, but more along the lines of Mass Effect. You know, a bit deeper combined. This game could be a fucking amazing thing to play. And like, you know me, like I like Skyrim. I'm not a big fantasy, but space sci-fi. You've got me day one again, and like I'm sold.
It's so funny, like this game, because like we know nothing about it other than the name, and we just assume that it's in space and all that, and like we're assuming the type of game it is, we're assuming so many things about it, and like it, like Gary had said, like it could be completely different. I don't think it will be. I think the assumptions that we're making here are probably about right, but we still don't know until we see it. It could be fucking even more than that. Like it could be bigger and better than we even ever imagined.
Oh yeah, it could be the next level. So who knows? But I'm excited for Starfield for one, and there's talk and whispers about Wolfenstein 3, because generally that's the cycle.
Yeah, makes sense.
Wolfenstein 3.
Totally stuff like that. I think that I'm also excited to see if they show off any more like Perfect Dark, things like that. Like, because obviously they announced that, and I'm very excited about Perfect Dark coming back. I think these are the type of projects that are going to get me excited over the next few years, and like it gives that, like, because like Sony's got its thing going on, which is basically third-person action games. Like almost everyone is a third-person action game. All these exclusives, and the Xbox is going like, okay, like we've just fucking bought probably the best first-person studio in the world.
Yep,
like,
I would agree.
So we're gonna make all the first-person games. So like, you want to play first-person games? There it is, the Xbox.
Yep.
Exciting. You want to play third-person games? You can fucking go to Sony. Cool, awesome. And if you've got both, like, oh my god, amazing.
So I think Forza Horizon 5 is a no-brainer again. Do you think we're going to hear from Fable? I think they need to keep the hype train going for that game. I think they need to talk about it, even if we don't. However, one of the guys on Reddit, one of the guys that's either seen it or works or somebody, did make a comment that was taken out of context, and basically these guys said that he confirmed it was going to be shown. He never said that. What he said was that he'd seen a working demo. He said he's unaware and can neither confirm nor deny whether they're going to show it, and he wasn't even saying it tongue-in-cheek. He was just saying, I was replying to a fan saying, I've seen the demo and I can say that it looks awesome. So that means that they've got a demo up and running. So if they're happy with a Fable demo, they're going to show this. I wouldn't expect much,
yeah.
but they want to keep Xbox in people's mouths, and they tell you Fable's coming, a beloved franchise, and they throw in the word Game Pass. They want those brand names stuck in your head like Mickey Mouse and McDonald's.
Yep, I think Xbox will go around every single fucking studio they own, and they'll go,
Here's where we're at.
I was like, what are you working on? Like,
do you think it'll be like EA did with Star Wars? Remember when they went round the studios and went, look at this one, look at this one, look, here's Battlefield, look, here's Amy Hennig's one that never seen the light of day, look, here's this.
I think it'll be better than that, because that was fucking garbage when they did that.
Yeah.
Because it was, oh, look at this one piece of concept art. I think you're right. Like with Fable and stuff like that, they'd be like, okay, here's what we're working with Fable. There's a small teaser trailer here for you, like something a bit more than they showed the last time.
Yep.
Cool, boom, done. And move on to like Gears. Gears 6 is in development. Like they might show a splash screen or like.
Do you know all they need to show for Gears? The COG logo in Gears 6 and Cat running or something. Do you know?
Yeah, something like that.
Do you know how they get folk going off their head? See, at the very end, they go, one more thing. They put up Elder Scrolls 6 and they show a fucking mountain with a dragon. That's all they need to do for that game for folk to go, no way. That's all they need to do. They don't need to show gameplay. That's years off.
They need to show something more than that, because they are, like Bethesda already did that. Like they already.
Oh, they did the mountain ranges, didn't they?
The mountain ranges in the logo, like, so they need to show something slightly more than that.
Do you know what I say? I don't know if you agree. Do you think it's time to end, not all, because we like surprises, but some game secrecy and like pull back the curtain a bit more like Cliffy B was trying to do with his development of Lawbreakers? So Xbox actually go, instead of you guys theorising and making up shit, here's exactly where we're at. And as long as it's in a slightly showable form, go around the fucking studio and show the happy Xbox family and go, look, this is what the guys are working on. Here's concept art. Here's a fucking board meeting with ideas. And like you'll get people like Charlie piecing things together. But remember how Cliffy B was trying to update everybody all the way with Lawbreakers, be it a bad game aside. No. That right. So the game didn't work, Andy, but that's not my point. My point is that he was like, look, we're being very open of where we're at with this game all the way along. Do you think that's something that could work? Not for PlayStation, because they'll never do it, but for Xbox, they could easily go, look guys, here's our studios. And I don't mean like going, well, you've got fuck all to show, we're still filming you today. I mean, go around the studios that's even got small progress so that people can go, oh cool, we can actually see where they're at. Because wouldn't it be cool to see? Nintendo will never do it either, because they're the most secretive, but look, here's where we're at Metroid 4. Here's where Reggie went off his head and threw a fucking axe in the wall because he was so annoyed. You know, like, I don't mean that, but I mean like, here's where we're at. Here's the stage of development. We're actually at this stage in development. Look at this. This is all we can show you, so you don't go, where is it? Is it delayed? Is it cancelled? Yeah. I think that that's the sort of era we're in, that could be accepted now.
I think that for when games have already been announced, 100% agree, yes. Then, yeah, they need to provide regular-ish developmental updates on those, say every 6 months for games that are a far way out. And like, now's about the time for them to do that with like X, Y, and Z games for Microsoft. However, I don't think that they should do that for unannounced games. Like, they shouldn't come out with...
No.
Like, Amy Hennig's game and show you like, oh, Amy Hennig's working on a Star Wars game.
No, that's what I mean by this.
It's fucking like, it's some kind of weird content.
There should be some secrets, obviously, but say like Fable, how cool would that be to get a behind the scenes look? Here's the studio, here's the storyboard team, here's a couple of artwork. Like, they can choose to show what they show, but basically like a insider view of this is the stage we're at in development, so you're aware, instead of people going, oh, that game's 3 years away, oh, that's 2 years out, that's 5 years out. And I know studios like Rockstar and stuff won't do it. But I mean, Xbox with their internal teams have gone, look, we showed you Forza 8 last year, here's where we're at, and show them like messing about with cars, like the GT team like recording the noises or wherever they're at. I think that would be cool, so people feel more relaxed instead of going, Xbox has got nothing, when's this coming out, is it 2025, is it 2024, like... This would totally counterbalance the amount of studios that come out and go, look, here's a title, we're definitely working on it. Because that sucks.
I think what Xbox are going to come out and do is they're going to give you a slate for the rest of the year. Like, every month, going to have one game. Like, you're going to get one Game Pass game, one, like, decent-sized Game Pass game every month, a new game. And then they'll give you some of the games that will come out next year, which will lead up to Gears coming out next year. And obviously, like, this year, it will lead up to Halo, like, Halo release date as well. Like, Halo's the big one for this year. But yeah, Xbox, like, I can't fucking wait for that. Like, I hope that we can work it out so that we can do that one live, because that's the one I'm most excited about. PlayStation's, like, state of play thing is, like, okay, they're going to give us updates on the games that are coming. I don't think they're going to give us anything new. They might not even do it around about E3. I actually suspect that they won't do a video in
July.
Like, they'll do one in July instead, for, like, just to fucking be, like, contrary about it, because why not? And obviously the third parties are doing their own things anyway. Yeah. But I think, like, PlayStation's making a mistake, but they will... I don't think they're going to put out a state play. I think they're going to wait till July. But anyway, the other thing that I'm excited about, and there's really only two for me, so I'll just do this one. And then we can move on to what games we played. So the other thing that I'm really excited about is Nintendo, and not because of the Switch Pro, right? Although it kind of ties into it. I'm excited for Nintendo to fucking give me a reason to turn my Switch on. Like, that is it. They need to show me a game that I want to play on the Switch, that I can only play on the Switch, that I can't get on my fucking amazing PS5 and Series X consoles. Give me a reason to play that fucking thing. I don't have one.
I don't think they're going to give you a reason to play your current Switch. I'm just going to dull your expectations there. They're going to give you a reason to play the Switch Pro. I don't think you're going to get...
Give me a reason to buy that then, like, right. That way. Like,
that's a better way of looking at it, because you're talking about a 4-year-old console. 4-year-old console that was a mid-gen console anyway. It's past its best. I mean, it's usable, but that's it. Unless you're a kid, this is...
It's dead. Like, I'm like, oh, I wonder if there's anything new on the Switch store. Nah, my Switch is dead. So, like, because you've not picked it up in 3 weeks. Oh well, I'll put it on charge and then forget about it for another 3 weeks. But no, I need a fucking new Mario game. I need like Bayonetta, or like I don't even like Bayonetta that much. Like Metroid Prime 4, like, or whatever they're calling it now. And things like that, Zelda, like not Hyrule Warriors, I don't want to play that. Breath of the Wild 2, like shit like that. Like, the new Mario game was the thing I want the most. I think
we might get Odyssey 2. I think we're more likely to get Odyssey 2. It's a no-brainer.
Yes, totally is. Like, they're obviously working on some other shit, but they could have easily made an Odyssey 2 in the time that it's been since that Mario game.
Yeah, and same engine and everything. I mean, Galaxy 1 and 2 did this.
Yeah, they made a fucking remastered 3D World, which, like, I didn't care about the 3D World part, but the Bowser's Fury part was decent enough. But, like, I want Odyssey 2, because I loved Odyssey. Odyssey, probably my favourite Mario game. Thought it was fucking incredible. And, like, good. I would happily play another one of those, like, just with new levels in a new world. Like, with even the same mechanics with one added in thing, which is what they did with, like,
with
Mario 3D Land to 3D... No, Mario 3D Land to 3D World on the Wii U. They did exactly that. They gave you a cat suit, and then
Mario 3D Land wasn't Wii U. It was 3DS.
It was on the 3DS,
and it was a totally different game.
It was very similar to 3D World. Very similar.
Wasn't.
It was. It was. It was the same fucking sprites and everything, and all the same costumes, apart from the cat. Cat was the only difference. The one gimmick. If you just do that, one new gimmick into Mario Odyssey 2, boom.
How much of Mario Land did you play? Out of interest.
Not
No.
Not very much.
So I would wholeheartedly disagree, but I see your point. But they don't even need to do that. Look at Galaxy 1 and 2. Just new worlds. That's it.
Yeah. But yeah, new level designs, cool, fun.
Give Cappy another power.
Yeah.
Add Luigi. Job done. Don't even add another mechanic.
Yeah, Luigi.
Add Luigi.
In fact, just have you playing as Luigi at the beginning of the game. You have to rescue Mario. Boom, new game.
Mario was missing. Confirmed.
Good fun. Yeah, like I want a reason to either play my Switch or a reason to buy the new Switch. So that's Nintendo games that I care about.
Which, as you said, is like Metroid 4, Breath of the Wild 2, new Mario Kart maybe. I don't think we're going to get new Mario Kart.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
But I think when like that, that's what I mean. Like Mario Odyssey isn't selling. Like, well, it's still selling, but it's not selling like top 10 Mario Kart 8 is every time. So
Mario Kart, yeah, definitely not. Like, so it still does sell, but like, he's not fucking doing Mario Kart numbers now. Like everyone that wanted to play that game pretty much has played it. Except for a new one.
Yeah, but Metroid 4, I think we need to see it. It's time now. Like, I mean, the development team changed about, 2 years ago, and like their hiring spree that lasted 2 years, like died down last year. So are you telling me in 2 years they've not got anything showable? If they don't cancel it.
Cancel it and bin it.
Yeah, but they worked on it for 3 years before that, like from before the Switch came out. And
before it was even announced, like they obviously were working on it.
Yes, so then they cancelled it like 2 years ago, halfway through the Switch life cycle so far, and then they said, we've got a new team in now, and then Reggie left, and they hired people for like a full year, and then all of last year, obviously COVID, so it might have delayed it, but they've got to have something they can show. Even if it's a CGI trailer, I'll be happy enough with that, with a prospective release year. Hopefully next year. Who knows though? Obviously we won't see anything from Smash Brothers because they're just going to add Fire Emblem characters to the end of time. So
that's it, mate. That's not the new Fire Emblem guys.
Like everyone wants Sora. It's like we know what you like. Oh, we want Crash. We know what you like. Sora, it's got to be Sora. Nah. We give you Cloud. You can have more Fire Emblem.
I always like the diversity of the fucking. The fighters in Smash Bros. For like, there's so many Fire Emblem and like those type of guys now. And you're like, it's just another guy with a fucking sword. Like, they need someone that is not just a guy with a sword.
I mean, they already had Link, so
yeah, exactly. Like it's just Link, but like
not
as cool.
Yeah,
it's just not as cool version of Link. It doesn't have a fucking hook shot or bombs. Like he's fucking sucks. This guy. Give me like fucking Lara Croft, like someone like that.
And then
give me someone like that.
Then they tease us with like, oh look, we're doing Xenoblade, and you're like, oh cool, and it's like, but you get to play as the summons. What? Why? Anyway,
even Xenoblade, it's like some guy with a sword and a fucking cape, basically.
Yeah, they had Xenoblade in the 3DS one. That's when Shulk came into it. But then this time around, instead of adding the dude from Xenoblade 2, they went, you don't want to play as him. You want to play as the summon. No, we don't. We want Sora, if we're being honest, with Mickey and Goofy as like an ultimate, and it makes sense. It fits. Like, but I think the rule is the game has to be on Nintendo first, so they would need to move Kingdom Hearts. Well, wait a minute. They had them on the 3DS, but
well, yeah, I suppose because they did have like
Snake, and they had them on the Advance. And Snake was on 3DS, but they've had Kingdom Hearts. I mean, like they had 352 days.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts, totally, yeah. And that should really like the
Kingdom Hearts trilogy should be there.
Yeah, they could easily put the all-in-one package like over onto the Switch.
Current Switch could handle that, no problem. I mean, you're talking PS2 games with a polish. So anyway, that's kind of our first of pre-3. I think next week we'll probably have another pre-3. We might even have some more stuff going on. There's been a few announcements news-wise, but nothing major this week. We'll talk about them on Friday. But next week we'll have another pre-3, and then the following week, the weekend, it all kicks off, I believe, or following week. No, next week and then the weekend. That's when it all starts. So we've got one more week of pre-3 stuff, and I would imagine before E3 starts they at least show us the Switch Pro of some sort, so that they can then focus on showing the games, so people are well aware in advance that these are Switch Pro games, rather than somebody tuning in E3. Well, shown on Switch Pro.
They might just show it like as the very first thing.
Could do that way.
The stream. I think that's like, because we've not heard about it now, like as of the 1st of June. I think they're going to hold that now. We had all the rumours over the last week that they're going to show this, they're going to show this. They didn't show it.
So I think you're right. They're holding it back now. They've obviously been, we're not conforming with your leaks. No way. So what the leaks maybe said was somebody insider leaked, it's ready, like the trailer and everything's good to go to show this thing. And I mean, the screen manufacturers, the chipset manufacturers have confirmed these over the past 2 years, but now more and more sources from like Eurogamer and Bloomberg, two trustworthy sites, have now said similar reports. So they've either got the same insider or it's linking up on purpose. And I mean, Eurogamer's not the sort of site to quote an insider that's not an insider. They're not somebody to go, an insider tells me GTA 6 will be ready. That's not the site Eurogamer or Bloomberg is. So it's now at the point where it's like
some random guy in the street saying that. Oh yeah, like my brother's had PlayStation 5 dev kits in his house stacked for like 2 years. Like,
and you can see them, but like I mean, this is definitely happening, and this is the time to do it. The current Switch cannot last another year and be popular. I'm saying that kids will still buy it, but I mean, for gamers like us, we're going to go 5 years on. Like really, there's the Switch Pro is getting shown this year. See, that will be my most surprising thing about E3 if Nintendo do not show new hardware or a new iteration.
Oh my god, yeah.
See if they don't.
Show it, like, what?
I'll be like, this will be my face. This is why I'm kind of hoping the Nintendo conferences are usually reasonable. However, by reasonable, sometimes they're on at 3 in the afternoon / like 4 in the afternoon, which would suck for you. But I might do my own live reaction to that and then cover it later with you that night, because I want to be shown going, if they don't reveal it. I really do.
It depends what day it's on. We'll work all that out.
Yeah, we'll work it out during time. But anyway, let's move on to all the good things that we have been playing. So I've played like technically 2 things, Andy, and you've played 3, 4, few things.
Maybe 3 or 4, maybe.
Whose turn it is it? Do you want me to go first?
I think it's my turn to go first.
Cool.
I'm sure you went first last week. So some of the things I'll just give like a quick update on. So, Fortnite, been hammering that the last few days, trying to get the last few levels of the battle pass down. I'm now at level 90, and I have done the 70 epic quests. Ali, that you've bailed on that quest. You could easily fucking do that, by the way.
Nah.
Like those epic quests are very doable.
It's too much hassle. Like I like Fortnite, but it's like, do you know what? Do you know what deflated me? The DLC from the comic, when the last one that I redeemed was like they released the Batman pack, and it's like I've just bought that glider. And we talked about it last week, so that kind of just went. Don't get me wrong, the comic's fine. I've not read like issues 2 and 3 yet, but like I read the first issue. It was like, that's cool. I didn't buy them to read them. I bought them to move on down the line, because these are the sort of things that will go up in price, because Fortnite's big, DC big, Batman big, variant covers big.
Oh yeah, and I was playing as my Aloy skin up until the point where I unlocked the Rachel Roth skin.
Rachel Roth from Titans.
Yes, and it was fun to play as Aloy, because I'm like getting hyped for Horizon. I'm looking forward to that game. I'm hoping it comes this year. Like,
that was a worry about that state of play.
I don't know. I watched the gameplay, and like the gameplay looks fucking phenomenal. So
it does. But phenomenal is not always enough for Sony, as you know. When it's one of their staples now, that's going to have to be perfect.
I mean, the gameplay looked pretty much perfect.
I know, but
honestly, like,
that's sections. That's specific sections.
Totally. Like, and it was one pretty much continuous section of game, like a 14-minute segment they showed, and I like that. I was excited, but I didn't go back and play Horizon. I'm not like that about it, because I mean, I played Horizon and
you finished it.
I finished it. It's too much of a pain in the ass for me to go back and play the DLC because of the way it's set up. But we've been through all that.
Yeah.
But yes, so the next best thing is for me to play as Aloy in Fortnite, like, because it's vibrant, like nice grass, lots of grass as was in the game. So I'm pretending I'm playing Horizon, but I'm not really using a bow and arrow very much.
Fortnite's kind of triggered something in my head there. So, remember the rumoured Tomb Raider sequel thing? Do you think we're going to hear more about that at E3? Remember how they said it was going to be one to bridge the new trilogy with the older games?
Yeah. We probably actually will hear more about that. Like, and I would be excited for that, because like I like, and like I loved all 3. I loved the first one, and the second one's incredible. And the one's like all right. So yeah, if something they can put in the middle to bridge all that stuff together, like with modern day graphics, like I'm all for that.
What's going to happen at the end is like you're going to get cursed and turned into a polygon, like.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't either. I'm joking.
They'll make a great game though. Like, I think they'll take on board the feedback that people have given them from the last game, and make an amazing game. Because like they've got something really good there. Because I think the 3 newer Tomb Raider games are far better than the old ones.
Talking of Tomb Raider, right, and talking of like, it's not an unknown IP, and I think this will definitely happen. It might not be to next year, but I think there's an outside chance of E3 dropping at least a look at the next Uncharted. I've just got this feeling it's been long enough. They've not got a Last of Us to show.
No, I mean that all depends on if Sony does something, which I don't think they will. I don't think Sony's going to do anything.
You don't?
They're going to go Ratchet, like be excited for Ratchet.
Yeah, they're gonna plug Ratchet and Deathloop as well.
Like when is Ratchet out?
Oh, 2 weeks.
So right in the middle of E3, they're not gonna fucking distract you with like showing you new Uncharted when Ratchet's
Yeah, you're right. I think it is the 16th.
Sony's doing fuck all.
You're right. I take it all back.
That's my thought. Sony's doing nothing now. It's gonna be July before they show another state of play thing. But yeah, so yeah, played that bit of Fortnite. Working
10
my way
days.
through the quest in 10 days. Working my way through the quest lines and whatnot, and yeah, it's fine. I'm looking forward to the new season till they do something different because I don't like all this primal shit.
It's horrible. I've not liked this season 1, but
No, it's not fun.
Aliens next season, allegedly.
Well, we'll see what it is. Like I've been going around and doing some of the quests and stuff, and like I don't pay any attention to like what the story is for it. But I just want fun gameplay in Fortnite, and like the gameplay has felt tedious for a little while in the game now, so I want them to refresh it and give us something new. But anyway, moving on from that, played some more of Mass Effect 1 from the Legendary Edition. This game I still like the story, but the gameplay is fucking tedious, man. Like, see this driving around this fucking car. Oh my god, it's so bad.
Not a good car.
So like, I finally found the planet that I have to go to, like the Artemis Tau, after going to, I think I visited every planet in the cluster, and I finally got to a place and it's like the map looked different, right? So like every other map was just like here's a square, and like you can go to there, and this one I went to it and it's like, oh, it's actually got some shape to the map. Cool, this is the right place for sure, because why would they actually make some fucking level design if there wasn't something to do? So this is how I worked out the map.
Sometimes that happens in this game.
There was actual level design, so I'm like, yes, I'm in the right place. So I'm having to drive around through like around these like sort of lava pits and things. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then like robot things start coming down and attacking me, and I'm to shoot them, which is not easy with this fucking terrible gun thing. It's very bad to control and to shoot and all the rest. So I've not been enjoying this level at all. And then I got to the point where I got to what I think is the end of this section of this mission anyway on this world, and I came across these fucking teleporting cunts. Like, oh my god, hate them so much.
Guess stalkers,
like,
yeah, they're annoying.
Oh Jesus! Like, so like I get through it was quite tricky to navigate my way through fighting all the guys in the Mako. But it was okay. Like the gameplay was all right. I know it's like an older game, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like I can deal with that. It's not great to control. I've lost a lot of health here, but I've made it through. So fucking done with that. Cool. I need to forget about that. And then get into this sort of fight with these teleporting bastards. Jesus, like I was just. Like, so I tried to do it with a sniper rifle. They move way too fast.
Oh, they do. Can't really snipe them though.
Couldn't snipe them at all. I tried doing it with like the normal Lancer gun, and like one of them kept just teleporting behind me and then zapping me, and I wouldn't know. Especially when I had the sniper rifle, because I'm like aimed down and like fuck, I missed him. Like, where did he go? Right, he's over there. Right, and then I'm like, I'm taking damage here. Like, come out the sniper, look behind me. There's like a guy over here, and he's like. Took me down to like less than half health, and then I've got like 2 healing things, and I'm like, oh, I'm fucked. I can't do this. So yeah, I need to. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing on normal, so I could bump it to easy. I could do that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't enjoy when shit like this type of stuff happens in a game, and it's not Bloodborne. Like, it's not designed to be hard.
It's not hard. Really, it's not hard. But then you didn't know about a certain section of the fights that I took as second nature from playing them a lot.
Yes. Yeah, so you were talking about like biotics.
The
And things
powers,
like that,
yeah,
and,
yeah.
like, I did use those in Andromeda, but I used them pretty much exclusively to build shields walls.
You could
Like that's all I used it for. So like I would build a shield wall,
build a
duck
barrier.
behind it, and aim out. Like, and it was great for doing that, and that's all I used it for pretty much. But I haven't used that at all in Mass Effect 1, and I haven't really even looked at what it is. And you were talking about like it's on like a menu or something like that.
It's either L1 or R1.
Yeah, so like L1 does your weapons, but I didn't realise there was something
Must
on
be an R1.
R1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's just it's this old antiquated design. I just need to like grin and bear it and get through this game because like I know that the second game's going to be better.
Yeah.
But I'm not enjoying playing this game right now. Although it looks okay, like the character models, especially look totally fine, and the cutscenes look fine. The worlds are just empty.
They've been polished, but yeah, they're empty. I mean, it's a 14-year-old product, but your complaints are absolutely valid to this game. I think I just take some things for granted because I've played through this title specifically so many times.
I do not have the rose tinted glasses for this game at all.
Sure.
Like I would have for say like even Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Like that game, if you just give that to someone blind right now, they're
not
going to
like it. This looks
They're
horrid.
not going to enjoy it. Like why do I have to like hold the D-pad and press X to run? Why do I have
that's
to do
horrible.
that? Like, you know what I mean? And okay, they've improved bits of this game.
Oh, they've made it playable now. But outside of playable, yeah.
Yeah, still a lot of like issues. And there's no way they could have fixed them without doing a full-on remake. So I get it, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna grin it, bear it, and persevere it. But I need to get through this fight to be able to do that.
The reason they didn't make a full-on remake, they came out and said why they didn't make a full-on remake, because this was Unreal Engine 3 and we're now on Unreal 5 I think it was. So basically it couldn't get ported to 4 simply because of the branching trees, the conversation trees, the way to code all them and make the game decisions happen. It would have broke the game, so they would have had to just
That's valid. Totally valid. Yeah.
And because that affects all 3 titles, like your conversation goes
That's the remake, all three
everyone,
games,
yeah. So
yeah, that's totally fair. Makes
and they
sense.
said the time to do that and the money involved, it wouldn't have been approved. So I think what they said was they modded the Unreal 3, so they've technically made themselves a 3.5 and pushed it ways that it shouldn't with that additional mods to that game building engine. And like it shows 100%, if you jump back to Mass Effect 1, you can see like this is beyond just like an HD polish, and we've covered this ground before, but 100% there's certain things they couldn't change without like redoing the whole game. I mean, they've redone environments and stuff, but yeah, the age of this game certainly shows. I've heard good reports about 2 and 3. I'll jump in and throw my Mass Effect here because I didn't play much of it, because I'm at the end game. Basically, I can't go back somewhere, and once I go to my next main mission, there's no turning back from that one, and I could go and finish it, but I want to do a few more side quests that really, when you get to that stage, Andy, you could just push on, because the side quests for you aren't really going to bring much more enjoyment, to be fair, unless you really enjoy them. It's more of what you've been doing that you don't like. So I would say for you, stick to the main missions, level up a wee bit. But again, this isn't an RPG where you have to focus on your number as much as your skill shooting. Like, it's kind of, even though this is the most RPG out of them all, you don't really have to focus on that. Obviously, you couldn't just go straight to the end and fight the last boss, but once you'll realise when you're in the end game, because it'll basically say, okay, once we leave, there's no turning back sort of thing. And it'll prompt you to go to a certain place, and it won't allow you to go back to another place, because I'm trying to not spoil it for you. And you can go and mop up your side quests. I would say do some of them. Don't avoid all your side quests. That's silly in any RPG. But like, do enough until it's like, okay, this isn't fun anymore. Because I don't know what
10 minutes.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't recommend like going in and doing any like hunt such and such on a planet. If it's like go and speak to someone missions, do them, because you'll still get the XP. But again, it's not like Final Fantasy. If my number's not this big, I can't finish the game, which is literally every Final Fantasy up until 15, more or less. But like, yeah, I like it still. I've got a lot of love for the game. I think they've done a superb job on everything they've worked on. But I myself, I'm kind of in between. Do I bother with these? I have finished all these before. Do I just push on and then just settle into 2 and enjoy 2? I'm not sure. But yeah, it's good that you're still playing it and you're enjoying the story, because that was the part that I knew that would speak to you. Is the story in the trilogy is phenomenal, like really good. And I'm not taking away from Andromeda, because I wasn't one of these guys that hated Andromeda and thought it was awful. I just thought, yeah, I hope it gets a sequel that's better, which is a bit like you're thinking about this one. So there you go.
100% Andromeda is better than this game. I can tell you that already right now.
I would disagree in every way. I'm not saying Andromeda is a bad game. I would say Andromeda is better than Mass Effect 3. I'm going to say that. But you're probably going to like Mass Effect 3 the best.
Probably. But yeah, so yeah, aside from that, I did play I played some more Bloodborne.
Weird hot tub meta going on during Bloodborne.
Oh, you were watching me in the bath when I was playing Bloodborne. Anyway,
yeah.
But Bloodborne.
I watch my shows in the bath. There's nothing weird about that. The weird thing was that I sent you, for some reason, I took a photo of me in the bath.
Playing your Switch.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I couldn't see anything obnoxious, but it's fine. I think using your Switch in the bath, though, that's risky. Because if you drop it, it's fucked.
It gives me the excuse to the pro.
You probably wouldn't die. There's not enough power in a Switch. It's not like dropping a hairdryer in there.
My only
I
issue,
think you would be fine.
I think it'd be okay-ish. I wouldn't die. No, I could drop a Switch. I could drop a phone. It's the same thing. No, it's sealed. It wouldn't go. But yeah, like, in fact, the batteries are so small. What they're going to do anyway?
Exactly. Yeah. Like if you drop like a plugged-in hairdryer into the bath. Like
that's very different. Yeah, but these aren't like hardwired by any means. So like, yeah, I like listen. I watch my shows and like.
If you want to commit suicide, do not use a Switch to electrocute yourself in a bath.
Don't give this advice. Stop. Not sanctioned. So like, yeah, I like watching my shows in the bath, because I sit, like Lexi's get the wee steps to go up to the sink, so I sit my tablet there and I watch stuff. And I was watching XCast and I realised, oh, that's 9:05. Like, Andy will be live just now. That's even better. So I turned off XCast and I put on Andy. And
I did not have fun.
You didn't have fun, which made the stream not fun. You weren't enjoying it. And then you were disappointed with yourself at the end, and you were like, huh.
Yeah. Sometimes it's funny to watch people get annoyed with things, but I wasn't really getting annoyed with it. I was just.
You were deflated.
What? I totally deflated. Yeah, you're totally right. Because I couldn't beat that boss that I was trying to fight, and I couldn't see any way for me to even try to attempt to beat it. And I'm like, fuck. What do I do? So it's again another one where I need to go away and do research on the game to see how to beat this fucking boss. And I'd already watched videos of people fighting this boss and being able to kill it in less than 5 minutes. Some of them 2 or 3 minutes. I'm like, oh my god! And I'm leveled way past some of these people. So I am shit at this game. Do not get me wrong. I suck at this game. This is why the stream is called Andy Still Sucks at Bloodborne. I still suck at the game. I am better than I was when I started playing, for sure. But a lot of that is just pattern recognition and remembering where all the enemies are.
Do you know the kind of, in comparison, if you seeing people deflated, if you're one of those people, watch my Returnal video, which was fine. I accepted getting beaten by the boss until I decided to go and check how many hours I played in the game. And once that was checked, you can see I was just... I deleted the game after that. I was like, do you know what? I've gave it its best. And see, when they brought out the stats for Returnal recently, and they said the boss most people have died at was the first boss, that speaks volumes that your first boss is way too hard.
It's too hard, yeah. I didn't even get to that. I'm I enjoyed it enough, but not enough to want to persevere with it any further than what I did.
It didn't have the elements that Bloodborne does to get to the point that you're at, you know?
Totally. There's still tons of stuff in Bloodborne, even outside that boss. See if I was to go, right, I cannot beat this boss, but I still enjoy the gameplay of this game. So there's still plenty of other areas that I could go and explore. There's places that I haven't been to yet and new things to discover and whatnot. So
whereas Returnal,
all that shit.
yeah, Returnal, it turns out if you're not that good and you get a bad run, you're going to die. Like, which isn't fun to me because, as you've seen in the stream, I can manage each room. I know what to expect. I can get through each room and progress, and I've got all the collectibles up to that point that's required. So see, when the boss just kept kicking my ass so badly, I was like, it feels cheap. The first boss feels cheap is the best way to describe it. And I'm like, I don't have the time to invest any further.
Yeah. Bloodborne also has fast travel, which is a big win compared to like Returnal. Returnal does not have that. Like, if I get killed by a boss, I can go back to the last lantern before it and just make my way from there. And okay, sometimes it might take me 15-20 minutes to get back to the boss, but I don't have to run through and kill every single enemy that I've killed in the game up to that point.
No.
Like, I don't need to do that, which is so like, I do still really like Bloodborne, but I'm kind of at a point where I'm stuck with this boss, and I need to figure out the way to get around that. And the reason it was frustrating me is because this is a 2-phase boss fight. It's a guy called Mikolash that I'm fighting, and it's actually a really interesting boss fight because you go in and the guy just runs away from you, and you have to sort of herd him to go into this one room where there's no exit. And once you do that, you can then fight him. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Fought him, got him down to halfway, and then he disappears. And I'm like, okay, right. So I assumed he went back out into the maze and I'd have to chase him around again, getting back into this room. No, that's not what happens. He runs up a set of stairs and opens another door, and it's like all this weirdness happens, and you need to go through a sort of... It's kind of like a wee maze almost, but like not quite a maze. But you need to like chase him into a mirror and then go back down and go to another room and then try and drop down on him. And then he's going to lock a door on you. Then you need to go back up and go through a different way. And then you need to find another way to drop down into this other side of this room and drop down, and then you can fight him there. And that would all be actually fine if you got to just fight him there. But you do get to fight him, but he has a bullshit move, which was one hit killing me, which was like, and it's an area of attack, one hit kill. So he goes like this, and then almost immediately, like, all these like lightning things fucking fall on the floor. And if you happen to be like standing on one of the points, which are not very well telegraphed, then you're dead. So I had to go back and I had to try to like mitigate that a little bit. So like I leveled up once, and then I found out about these like sort of things you can equip onto your person that like improve some of your stats. So I did one that improved my arcane defense. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So this time, the last time when I fought him, when it did that, it didn't kill me in one hit. It took off a lot of my health, but it didn't kill me in one hit. So, and then I tried to heal, and he got me with another attack. So, but I was just too frustrated at that point. I'm like, I can't do that anymore. I need to stop, and I'll go back. I will be able to beat him. Like, I know I will. Like, he's not that tough once I can get in to attack him, but it's just when he's doing an attack like that that damages so much, like, it's just fucked.
Yeah, it did look frustrating, but again, it's not like, even if you were stuck, you could technically level and OP yourself completely. There's other areas to explore.
I mean, I'm way
No, I get you're way OP, but you could be even more, and like, you know what I mean? Like, you can still do stuff. Whereas in Returnal, it's a case of, I've seen everything that it could offer me, and it's multiple variants of the level that spawns. And when it came to the last boss, it just felt, well, what more can I do? I've powered up everything, and if I managed to get a health pack in my run, you're right. I was maybe a quarter, maybe just over a quarter health on his last bar, because there's 3 bars of fright. But it just came to a point where I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to turn it off, but I'm going to check how long I've played in this game, and I went, what the fuck? I think it was close to 13 hours. I think it was like 12 hours, 40 minutes. I'm like, I can't, like, my brain just can't go, okay, I'm going to give this game more time at this stage. Like, it's not possible. Like, I can't do any more. So, yeah, at least Bloodborne, there's options, and you don't feel totally beaten. You're just a bit annoyed that you didn't beat him. But see, when you get a game like Returnal, because I didn't play it this week, I'm just moaning about it again. When you get a game and you've mastered this would be like, imagine mastering every section of the castle on the 3rd level in Mario, you know, and you could beat all the traps, and you get to the end, and then Bowser just nails you every time because he's got a cheap, fast version of his attack at the end that he randomizes. Because all the way, Returnal was based on pattern memorization, which Bloodborne's similar, and then all of a sudden at the end he kind of just throws it up because he takes a hissy fit, and I'm like, this isn't good, this isn't fun, I'm now bored working through this level. The shooting's fine, I like the haptics, but when you get to that point and then you see the amount of time you've put into it, and you're like, yeah, I can't do it, I'm fine, I can't do it.
And I mean, I'm probably like 80 hours into Bloodborne, and that's one thing I can't say about the game, that I've been bored in it at all. Like, there's always something to investigate, or like a new way to try and get a boss, or like you have an idea and like, oh, what if I try that on this, and shit like that, or like I open a shortcut, awesome, I've got a new lamp, cool. Like all those little like moments along the way, you're like, yes, I've achieved something. It just bugs me when I'm doing the stream and I can't achieve something. Like I'm like, oh fucking hell. But yeah, like I do still really enjoy the game, and I think I can beat it. Like I'm not a million miles away from it now. Like I think this is one of the like maybe second or third last bosses now, of the like the main bosses. So I'm not too far away at all. Like I'm getting there. Like I'll beat it by the end of the year. Like I can pretty much say that for sure. How quickly I beat it is going to determine if I'm able to do another one of those games, though.
Yeah.
Because it's taken me a long time to beat this game. Like, because I had 50 hours into it before I even started playing it this year. So
This is true.
and we're now halfway through the year, and I'm still not finished it.
I'm gonna go back to Demon Souls, but I'm kind of aware my challenge is not going to be met by me anyway. Like I don't think I'm going to finish any Souls game by the end of the year.
Why don't you try the Surge? Why don't you try that?
It doesn't
That's
count.
still a Souls. That's still a Souls-like game.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not. It's a Souls-like game, but it's not Souls. It's not From Software.
Okay. You could try. Why don't you try Sekiro?
It doesn't interest me. It looks like just an annoying version of Ghost of Tsushima.
But you liked Ghost of Tsushima.
I did, and I've still not finished it. So if I'm not finishing that, I'm not playing another. Samurai doesn't interest me. Remember, I bought it on a whim, and it just so happens it's a really good game to play. So, no, it's not that the games don't interest me. Demon Souls is cool. Like I like the mechanics and that and stuff. It's just that the slow progress just now. It's nothing like Returnal. It's just like I was doing okay in Demon Souls. Like I've done a stream, I've beat bosses on stream. Like I was making good headway, but I'm just aware of how much the difficulty is going to be turned up at one point for me, and it's going to be like, try it now, and I'm going to be like, So I just don't think there's enough time, like in the year left. I know there's 6 months left in the year, but I just don't think I'm going to get it done. I will play more Demon Souls though.
Yeah. It's gonna be Dark Souls. I think I'll go to Dark Souls 1. And if I struggle with Dark Souls 1, I'll go to 3 because it's supposedly 3's easier.
3's easiest. So, Demon Souls is the hardest of them all, apparently. Like, but your easiest two is Bloodborne and Dark Souls. Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne are the easiest two from what I read up.
Yeah. But like, I like the look of Dark Souls 1. Like, I like there's a cool big fucking knight guy in it. I want to fight him.
I've fought a big guy. I made some headway into Dark Souls when you think about it as well at the start. I did make some headway into it. And then Demon Souls, I decided to buy it and it just looked amazing. Like, I think you would really enjoy trying Demon Souls. Maybe now you've got a taste for these games, that can be a game that you play down the line, you know, just for fun rather than...
Yeah, I mean, I think if a brand new one came out now, I think I would buy it day one. Because... Like, yeah, I've enjoyed playing through it, and like, and doing it on the stream's been fun as well. So like, if there was a brand new one of these games came out, whether it's Bloodborne 2 or like
Demon Souls 2,
or Demon Souls 2, or like a new title in the series, I would get it day one. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I didn't really play anything else. I did play something else, but I'm going to chime in on it when you're talking about one of your games.
What games do you think I played? Just because you're going to chime in, and I'm like, I know he's.
I'm gonna chime in.
I know you've not played this one.
Yeah. By what was it?
Dragon Quest 11 S Definitive Edition, Elusives of a something age, whatever giant title it is.
Well, that's where you'd be completely wrong, because I did play this today. Haha.
What? Cool. So basically the reason that I played this was because they had the Dragon Quest 35th anniversary stream, they announced 12, and it made me go, do you know what? I really want to play this game. I bought it on the Switch when it came out, and I just never got around to playing it. So I tried it on the Switch, and guess what happened, Andy? The curse of 30 frames per second.
Oh God, yeah.
My brain went, no, it's not that it looks bad and cutscenes are fine. I was just riding the horse about and I went, no, I'd only put an hour into it. So I went, nah. I went to my PlayStation because for some reason this feels Japanese. It feels like it should be on a Japanese console. And there's Dragon Quest, and I'm like, I have no recollection of buying this. So I fired it up. I went, before I get any further, I'm going to fire up my Series X and compare all three. So we can instantly eliminate Switch. Not for me, can't play that version. Fired up PlayStation, fired up Xbox. Series X, mate, it's not that it looks another level, it's just the frames and everything are fine. It looks slightly more washed out in PlayStation, and this might be me nitpicking, but I was like flicking between my HDMI outputs and I'm like, why is it like this? And I made all the settings the same, HDMI, HDR, swapped them about ports. Nope, Xbox is the preferred look, so Xbox is how I'm playing it. The cool thing about that, Andy, is that on my lunch breaks, because I've got my Razer Siren, that's my mic, my Razer Kraken controller, it's cloud-based, so I can play this on the cloud. It does have touch controls, but no one wants to do that, so I've got my kind of half the Xbox controller, and I tried it a wee bit, but then I thought, I'm not getting peace, because you know what it's like, lunch breaks at work, sometimes you're getting asked stuff, and it's like, no. But it's cool that that's an option, so I'm chipping away on the Xbox. I am now 13 hours into the game. 13 hours in. This game is, if you're thinking about getting into it and you've just played Final Fantasy 15, this is not in that style. The last Final Fantasy you could compare it to is probably 10. This is very traditional JRPG, and I think that's why a lot of fans like Dragon Quest, because they've not changed it up too much, even though they've said they're doing it for 12, and I'm excited about that. Every video I've watched on YouTube about Dragon Quest, which I've been skirting around because I don't want spoilers now, they've placed this on top, and like most people would say 3 or 5. From what I gather from that community, 3 or 5 is the best. Like 5 seems to be Dragon Quest Final Fantasy 7. You know how the majority of us Final Fantasy fans would say 7. From what I hear, 5 is the one, but 11 for some reason is just going boom, getting put up there. So the game, from what I read, on the first island is 10 hours, and I've just got to the end of it within 13. I've only got one other party member. It is the voice acting, I wish it wasn't so British. Just me.
It's okay. It's not terrible.
It's not my preference though, Andy, and I had this problem with Xenoblade.
Reminds me of Fable.
Fable suits it.
Fable.
For some reason, in a JRPG like Xenoblade and this, I just can't. It can't go in my head. I'm like, this is not what I think you sound like. But that's a me problem, not a game problem. So these games, if you don't know, they share an artist/creator with Dragon Ball Z, which Fraser absolutely loves, and you can tell some of the characters just
the way the eyes are.
They look like Dragon Ball. So these are the games that, and the urban myth is that the first Dragon Quest sold so much that they made a law in Tokyo. It's true, but it happened after Dragon Quest 3, and it was Square Enix decided that there was too many people phoning in sick for school and work, that they released them now on a Saturday at the weekend, which is cool. This game is much bigger in Japan than it is over here. Final Fantasy got a much bigger audience. And see, after playing this, I understand it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I was watching a guy, Sack Chief, I think his name is, really good on YouTube if you want to check him out, and he's spent time in Japan and absorbed the culture and stuff, and he said that the way that he and his friends played it when he stayed in Japan was, after they've done their gaming for the day or the night, they've had their dinner, what they do is they go for a bath, and then before bedtime, they play 1 hour of Dragon Quest, and that's what they do in Japan. So this is how I decided
every night.
This is how I decided every night. This is how I decided to play it. This doesn't mean you can't play other games. This just means that you go for a bath, like say 10. Say if you're going to bed at 12, you go for a bath at 10. You get your tea and whatever. And I had green tea, popular over there. And I sat and I played an hour of Dragon Quest and I put it down because the way that it's designed and made is to be like a bedtime story. So I got to a point last night and I died, right? And it was my own fault that I died. So I don't really want to give any story spoilers away because I don't know if Andy's going to continue with it. I'm excited to see what he thought about it, but I don't want to spoil it for anyone else that's not experienced it because it's on Game Pass. It's free. It's right there. Go and buy it right now. Or it's on sale. I don't know if it's on sale on PlayStation, but I'm sure I've seen it was £22 if you wanted to buy it. I'm sure they announced during the 35th anniversary it was a Dragon Quest type sale. So grab this game if you can for that price. You're getting a massive game now. You're not going to get, like I've spoke before about Mass Effect. You can finish it in like 15 hours. You're getting, this is a full-on RPG. You're talking 70 plus hours easily for this, and that's me without looking up time to beat. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm getting into here. So I got, with a certain character that you meet, I done like, so obviously you start the game, you're told to basically, this is not really spoilers, it's the first hour basically, go and meet the king. So you can potter about in the village, do your things, you go and meet the king, and not really a twist happens, but I'd not got this far, so I was brazing away up the steps, hi king, what's happening captain, and that didn't go the way I planned, so certain things happen, there's a cool sequence, there's a chase sequence that I didn't expect to happen, almost kind of Crash Bandicoot running towards the player, run towards me, in the dungeon of the castle. There was an escape and then you choose to return to the city with a hood on. Yeah, that was kind of weird. And I was enjoying doing all these quests about the city, and I was like, cool, this is the main city, and then it's like, you can't really go back there. You can, but you're not meant to. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I read up on it, and the first part of it, Andy, the island, like 10 hours of gameplay just there before you open up the big world. So I got to the part where I got chased into a kind of portal that's kind of moved me into like the new world. However, on the way, one of the things that your friend wants to do is on the way, so you have to go there to get his item that he's after, and it's a dungeon. It's your basic dungeon. Each room you can see the characters on screen, you can avoid them or you can run into them, and that's kind of stuck in my head a bit like the Final Fantasy sort of battle theme just now. And I like that, and it's kind of, you can set it up so that you can choose how you want the characters to fight, like, or you can control them both. So at the start you get tactics, and if you go in there you go follow command, because in these sort of games, I mean, you can play it the other way if you want. I like to be able to control them. It doesn't feel quite as good as the junction system where you just go fight without mercy and then your other guy uses HP, because when I chose for my guy to use like healing, he basically, if the other guy lost like 5 health, he would be like, oh, I need to use some MP on you now, and it's like, you don't, mate, because your healing spell can revive you from basically like 10. Anyway, I'm only level 11, like my character's level 11. But when I tried to do this certain dungeon that's before where you need to go, the gate of departure, I think it's very obvious that that's where the end is. You go to a place called the King's Barrow, I think it's called. That's not a spoiler, it's just the name of the dungeon. And when you go there, like all soldiers knocked down, you have to explode down. I was avoiding every enemy in these rooms, Andy. Every single enemy, running past them. This is easier, blah blah blah, I don't need to fight these guys. I got to what's the boss in the dungeon, it's 2 enemies, and I could beat one no bother, and I was maybe level 7. I was like, yeah, this is no bother. And then the second one would just wipe me out, completely wipe me out, specifically with a move called whoosh, which hit both my characters. And I was getting annoyed with this, and I tried it maybe about 4 or 5 times, because your choices in this game are, if you die, you can go back to the last place you visited with half your money. You can go back to the start of the dungeon with half your money, or you can go back to your last autosave, right? So my choice was back to my last autosave, because I'm sick of games forcing me to fucking lose stuff. And I decided I'm just going to dodge all the enemies and leave the dungeon because there was a campfire nearby, save my progress and grind a bit. Now, grinding is a fucking bugbear to me in most games. However, in this, I don't find it terrible because fights are generally over quickish. It's certainly at this part of the game. So I didn't mind. And like, eventually what I did was I did set my tactics to fight without mercy, because basically what I was doing was going back to the campfire, healing, fighting a few guys, going back to the campfire, healing. So fight without mercy, and I don't need to push any buttons. I got to level 10 and I decided to take on the dungeon again, and I beat the bosses with ease, and I leveled up to level 11. There's even a move in this which is kind of like your limit break called Pep or something. I don't know if you got that far. I'm interested to hear what you've done, or if you've... So Pep basically is like, you know, in Dragon Ball, I don't know much about the series, but I know the guy's called Goku, and I know he goes Super Saiyan, where he like goes and glows. Yep. You get that unlocked in this game, like a limit break.
Okay.
And he kind of goes, bah, and you're floating and you're blue, and it ups like your attack and defense. And obviously there's a timer on it. But if one of your teammates, and I know you can get more than one, but I've only got one so far in the first 13 hours, he does it at the same time, and we get like a joint move that we can do together, which is quite cool. So the other section that I wanted to talk about in this, because I don't want to touch on story, is basically the sort of, is it spirit boat, whatever it's called, but it's basically a sphere grid. So you've got a sphere grid in this, and it's based around, I might be looking in the wrong part, but I couldn't see magic. Magic seemed to get added with levels. So excuse me. And instead of unlocking like lightning or fire, I know they're not called that in this game, but I'm basing it in Final Fantasy, which I'm more familiar with. Instead of locking like your water move or arrow or fire, it kind of comes like you've leveled up to level 11 and you learned a new spell. What the sphere grids, it's not called sphere grid in this, apologies, but the level up grid in this is basically based around your weapons. So you've got like knives or daggers, swords, boomerang I think is one of them, and something else. So you choose to level up that, and it'll give you like flame strike and like enhance your critical attack, and it's very much like the sphere grid in Final Fantasy X, which I love that method of leveling up. I'm absolutely fine with it. The only thing that gets me is, and I'm getting used to it, is I'm not used to a game being so cute. Like, it's very cutie.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
I understand why Japanese people love it, because they've got a chibi obsession, a Mickey Mouse obsession. For me, the way that we've been kind of ingrained in RPGs is kind of, if they're fantasy, they've got to kind of look brown and realistic and washed out, and if they're sci-fi, they've got to look dark and luminous green or luminous blue at some points. And with this game, it's kind of just very, very colourful. The whole thing's very colourful. I am really enjoying it though. The guy that I've got with me reminds me of like Riku from Kingdom Hearts, which is obviously because Dragon Quest was made by Enix, and that's the reason that Square bought them, was for the Dragon Quest series and how popular they are in Japan. But as this is I have played other Dragon Quest games. Like, my first one wasn't, this is my first Dragon Quest game to play. My first one was Dragon Warriors Monsters, which was the Pokemon one on the Game Boy Color. I've played Dragon Quest 1, played 2, played 3, but I've never finished them, because these are like trying to go back and finish Final Fantasy 1, 2 and 3. This game though, I could see myself sticking with it, because coming off a game like Returnal, which burned me out, coming off Resident Evil 8, which I'm kind of getting pissed off. I tried it again this week, and I go up the stairs and the lady nails me, and I'm like, look, I've even looked up a guide and it's just like, run away, and I'm like, I can't run away because the fucking flies are slowing me. I think I've just saved it at an unfortunate part of the game. I'm not giving up on Resident Evil 8. You know I will finish this. People that watch this know I will get around to it. However, this game for me, I can sink an hour into this and always feel progress. I can play an hour and always get story out of this. I can play an hour and enjoy the music, because it's very, very, very similar to, not really your sort of sci-fi, if you want to call it that, Final Fantasy games, because 7, 10 to an extent, but like 15 and stuff, those ones have very different soundtracks from the fantasy ones. This is more got a soundtrack along with Final Fantasy 9, I would say, was the last one that kind of felt like this, maybe 12. It's got a very much orchestral grand soundtrack, which 7 and like the sci-fi ones in Final Fantasy have more dum 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 style heavy drum beats with synth. This is very orchestral. It's got the option to drop it to 2D mode at any point, but that's not how I want to play this game. Like, there's other games that look like that. Movement sucked to me. It really did, but it's because in the overworld, it feels like it should be because Breath of the Wild's ruined everything for me. Like, I'm like, I want a fucking glider, and like, I want, sure the guy can run fast, but the horse just doesn't feel like Epona, and like, I'm accepting it though, because it's fine. This is my first experience properly giving a Dragon Quest the good old college try. There's no saying that I'll never play this game again. I do plan on playing more. 13 hours in, and I don't feel like turning the game off and deleting it, unlike Returnal. So I did enjoy it. Whether everybody's going to enjoy that, I don't know. I think the cuteness is a big barrier. I think the old school RPGness of it is a big barrier, because even though you can move around during your encounters, it is very much turn-based, so you've got to be aware of that before you play this game.
Yeah.
I think it's cool, and the story hit me with a beat after the king that I was like, cool, didn't see this coming, and it grabbed me. And voices aside and stuff, there's something that I want to know, what's going to happen? There was a certain event where you return to Cobblestone, which is your main village. Well, it's where you grew up, because obviously, spoilers from the first half hour, you get found in a basket by the guy that becomes your grandpa, and he adopts you, which is...
Like, literally the cutscene at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, so... That's what happened in Dragon Ball, Andy. Like, the guy found Goku, and like, that's exactly the same thing. So, like, I told Fraser about it. I'm like, mate, I know you only played an hour like me. I think Fraser will love the art style and everything in this game more than I have.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Final Fantasy VII style for RPGs, but I do want to try this game. There's certain things about it I'm like, this just feels nice to play, and I understand it's a big investment, because I didn't go back to Mass Effect much this week, but I have been chipping away at this until I watched that video when I'm like, do you know what, I'm going to play an hour of this every night after a bath. Like, maybe not tonight because we'll get Gears, but like normal nights, hour, and do it that way, because I like that idea that that's how they play in Japan, or that guy's group of friends did anyway. Yeah, it's cool. Is it for everyone? No, but if you like RPGs, I would say it's definitely better than Xenoblade enjoyability wise for me already. It comes with a high pedigree, like Dragon Quest's loved worldwide, but I hope that the story keeps going as good, and I'm not looking forward to grand open sections with zero story at all. However, from what I read, Dragon Quest games are designed so that they take a lot of the grind out as long as you're fighting as you go. Which is good, because some of the older games, it's just like walking a circle. Like even Final Fantasy VII, the first time you played it, you had to grind for hours in that game.
Totally, yeah.
Hours. Yeah. I'm talking, you get to that crater at the end, you're grinding if you're not at a certain level, or you're getting wiped out and having to restart. So, yeah, I like it. I think it's big. I hope I stick with it at the moment, and it's free on Game Pass, so I can't really argue. But anyway, that's the game that I'm sticking with. That's the game I'm playing. I have floated this to Fred as an idea for an episode, because I know enough about Dragon Quest that I can talk about it. I more want to go on the show and hear his research about it, because that's what I love about that show, like him talking about it.
All right, so you want him to do an episode about it for you?
No, but I'm going to be on it to talk, because I bought Dragon Quest 8. That was the first one that released here, Dragon Quest 8. But I bought it for the Final Fantasy 12 demo disc. Like, I played the demo disc, and I turned on Dragon Quest 8, went, it's too cute, turned it off, didn't even give it the time of day back then. So I want to talk about the experiences we both had, because I had Dragon Warriors in the Game Boy, I had Dragon Warriors Monsters in the Game Boy. I haven't had any of the DS ones really, but this one as well. Like, I just want to chat about the series as a whole, its impact in Japan, stuff like that. So hopefully that will come through. The Slime's obviously the character in the game. Again, there's like, just before I pass over, there was an enemy on the beach I fought. I didn't even want to hit it. It was like
Too cute.
a hermit crab with a rattle, and it's like the hermit crab draws
baby.
Baby, it was a baby. It draws harmlessly in, it draws aimlessly into the sand, and this wee thing's not even fighting me, and I'm like, I don't want to hit this over the head, like, and the slimes are like fighting you, like, hey, they do attack. They attack you though.
They do. Yeah.
They do. However, there are some enemies that's too cute. Like it looks like a squid almost with a rattle. It's like, oh, and then it drawn. I'm like, sorry, I need the levels. But anyway, I'll pass you over to Andy, who I assume played this on Game Pass because it's free there.
I did cosplay on Game Pass. However, I played it differently to how you played it. So you played it on, you put it on the console. I played it on my phone. Like this.
Oh, it's got touch. I didn't realise it had full on touch controls.
Yeah, so like I was looking for like something just to to muck around with, like while I was watching TV, and I'm like, my Switch is dead, and there's nothing I want to play on Switch anyway. But that's like, I mean, I could buy this on Switch, but like I already have.
It's like 40 quid still.
I have access to it on yeah, exactly. I already have access to it on Game Pass. You know, I'm like, I can play Game Pass on my phone. What's on Game Pass that I can play on my phone with touch touchscreens that will be like, okay, so like I look through and like there's obviously like things like Tell Me Why and stuff like that. Like those type of games perfect for the phone because like those are like choice based games. There's no like action combat type stuff. Totally fine. So this is why I was like, this one, I'm sure this is, I couldn't remember, right? But like, I was like, I'm sure this is a turn-based RPG. I could play this on my fucking phone. And yeah, it's perfectly playable on the phone. This is a great phone game. 100% great phone game.
Okay.
Great phone game. I don't know that I would be playing it on the console, honestly. Like, I don't know if it's engaging enough for me to play on the console, but to play on the phone game while I'm sitting watching TV, fucking great. Like, yeah, because it's turn-based battling, and it's not like time turn-based battling.
No.
The game is like, it's time for you to make your move.
Yeah.
So like, if there's a good bit in the TV show I'm watching, which I'm watching Grey's Anatomy at the moment, by the way, that's what I'm watching.
It's not like you're getting
then
killed.
Then I can go, okay, right. Oh my god, like I can't believe they just did that to this guy. Like this guy died because this person didn't do this thing. And then I can come back to my game.
It's hilarious.
And the touchscreen, touchscreen controls work fucking great. Like you can see it on the screen here, obviously. Like
Yeah. I tried it with my Razer, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, these are like they're all over the place, right? And it looks like a complete clusterfuck, right? It totally does, but it works 100% perfectly, right? I did encounter a couple of connection issues, like more so when I've been when I'm being upstairs. But when I'm downstairs, like when I was downstairs watching the TV playing this, perfect. It takes a little bit longer than I would have thought it would to load up.
Yeah, because it's loading off a server.
Because it's loading off a server, yeah, and I think they'll improve that over time. That will get faster.
5G.
But once it's loaded, the actual loading times once you're in the game are fine. I mean, it's not Series X loading times, but the loading times are fine. Like they're all right.
So to talk about the loading screens for Series X, Andy, they just go bling. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Bling.
So they definitely take, and that's kind of what I expected. They definitely take longer when you're playing on the phone, but still, like really fast. Like you're maybe talking like a few seconds, like 5 seconds or something, which is totally passable for like what I'm doing here. And like you were saying, you were playing with the Razer Kishi thing.
Yeah, oh sorry, I was saying, what was it, cracking? I was saying, yeah, the Kishi, I played it at work for a bit, but then I got interrupted and had to put it down, yeah.
So, like, I mean, I don't know, like, would I like to play that with something like this? Maybe, like, maybe that would be a good option for me, but, like, the touchscreen's perfectly good for playing this game.
So, obviously, the Kishi does away with the button prompts or whatever you would want to call those. So.
Yeah, I mean the only thing would be like you can see the screen better because there's like there's a lot of shit on the screen there, and it's like, oh my god, like I could, if you had like OCD or something like that, you could not play this because there's just too much random shit on the screen, and it's like placed in random places. I mean, like even the button layout, like if you look where the button layout is of like this side, like it's not like it is on the controller. Like your Y is like at the top, and then to the right of that is the B button, and then the A button is down there. But then lower and to the left of that is the X button. So like it's really a fucked up.
Kind of makes sense though because jumps on B, so it's at hand. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense on this particular game. I don't know if it's different for each game. I would guess it probably is slightly different because they do have like there's like pictures on it. So like the X button has like a map picture.
Yeah.
Like so, it's like, oh, you want to get to your map, push the X button, and it's like right there. I'm like, oh, right, cool. So I can push that anytime to go to my map. That's fine. And the jump button's like is B. It's got a like jumping guy next to it. Like cool. And there's like, oh, here's like how to get to your items. Like, and it's got a picture of like an item box. Like,
yeah,
cool.
And on Gears it's very different as well, but Gears is unplayable with touch controls. That was the only game I've tried because like that's a fast-paced action game with cover, and but no, that's cool. But do you know the thing is, a lot of the Dragon Quest games were handheld games only, so that is kind of the not traditional way to play because they started in the NES, but you know what I mean, like Dragon Quest 9 was DS only and such like.
The so I might be tempted to like because I'm going to experiment around with this and maybe try a couple other games, and I might be tempted to, if it's playable enough, to get like a controller. The Razer Kishi does not work with my phone though. There's not enough space in it. Like my phone's too big.
What phone are you using? The 10 20?
Note 20 Ultra.
Ah, yes. The Note 10 was the last one it works with. Because they made it slightly bigger.
I did try one with it, and it did not fit. I was able to plug it in, and it worked fine, but like it doesn't fit onto my phone. So I'd have to get something else. So I'd have to research a little bit to see.
Get a clip. Just get a controller clip.
I could get a clip, but like my phone's quite heavy for like to hold on a clip, so I don't know.
Do you get the train to work?
I do not. I drive to my work.
You shouldn't be playing in the car anyway. But when you're at work, do you have a table for lunch?
I would not play it in the car. I can have a table for lunch. Yes.
There you go. You set your controller there. Then the heaviness is negated.
But that's what I was kind of thinking, because like I get like an hour lunch break, and I never ever use it. But if I can have a game to play, then I could use it. Or
just buy a phone case that will allow your phone to stand, and take your controller and have it standing like the Switch. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I could do that. But yeah, that's definitely going to be a kind of option if I can find enough games that I'm like, oh, I'd like to play this, or even just if this game like keeps me engaged enough. Like I've played an hour or so of it so far, and like whilst I've been watching Grey's Anatomy, and it's fun enough to play while I'm watching that. Like, totally.
Why are you playing Dragon's Quest?
Why am I playing it?
Yeah.
Oh, because I wanted to try a game that was a touchscreen game, right, on the phone through the Game Pass streaming thing, but that wasn't too actiony, so that it wouldn't matter if I had to put it down. Like exactly what I was talking about. It's
not that I'm surprised you're playing a JRPG, but it's just I'm surprised you're playing Dragon Quest at the exact same time as me.
And also you played it, so I was like, he played this, I will play this also.
Yeah, so like overall though, like apart from your cool decision on your touch controls, because Andy is neither a touch gamer or a phone gamer, what do you think of Dragon Quest as a whole, like from what you've got in the hour that you've played it so far? Have you got your horse, for example? Because that's within the first hour.
I don't have the horse. Yeah, I don't have the horse.
You must be very close to the horse. You're still in the start village then. Cobblestone.
Yeah, I'm still in Start Village. I've just gotten back there after I've done the first sort of cave place that you go to. So, I've just went and spoke to my mum. Like I've just done that.
Oh, you're just there.
I need to go and speak to the king. Which, all right, cool.
That's why I'm glad I didn't say anything, because what I said to Fraser and my pal in Falkirk as well was play till the king, and then the story kind of starts to kick in, and you're like, oh, that's not how I seen this happening. And then you've got another 8 hours before Dragon Quest 11 comes up with a I'm not joking. Yeah. That's if you finish in 10 hours. I messed about a bit and explored certain things and tried to look for some stuff and tested out some areas. So it took me 13 hours to finish the first island for Dragon Quest to come up, Andy.
But I like the character designs and the cuteness and shit like that. Like I don't, again, as I say, I don't think I would enjoy it playing this on the console.
Try it.
Because it's that kind of cutesy way. But playing it on a handheld device feels 100% right to me, because it feels like a Nintendo game. But as you're saying, like the Switch version is £40 and
30
doesn't
frames.
look as good as what it, because this is playing absolutely perfectly on my phone. So because it's streaming from like a fucking Xbox One X or whatever, like on the server. So I don't think it's 30 frames.
No. See the Series X version, Andy, it's 60. 60.
Oh, no, I mean on the phone.
I would imagine it's more, because obviously like the native Switch version had to get downgraded in graphics. Yeah. And also, saying the native Switch version, this was a DS game, yeah? This was a 3DS game.
Was it? No, I didn't know that.
So obviously Google the 3DS version before we play Gears, because it looks worse than it makes the Switch version look amazing. It's another game where you're like, it's not quite as bad looking as The Witcher, but it's definitely like, this is impressive to be on the Switch, but graphically it just looks muckier, like every Switch port for a big game. And the frame, it wasn't even the looks though, Andy, because it does look like a Nintendo title, like you said, 100%. This feels, that's what I meant by it felt like a Japanesey game, so that's why I went to Sony first and tried it on the PlayStation, then realised, sorry, the Series X is just making this look incredible just now. And technically I know the Series X is a better console on paper.
It's actually the way that the backwards compatibility is implemented on the Series X.
Of course, yes it will, and it looks nicer, so I'm fine playing it there for a change. But Dragon Quest 12, like, if this game can hold me and I finish this game, which I think I will the way that it's going, because it's not a stressful RPG to play. It feels quite relaxing. So
Yep.
I think if 12 kind of goes the Final Fantasy way, and every review that I seen, Andy, for Dragon Quest was, this is people's jumping on point for Dragon Quest. This is the one that will get new players in. It's also a love letter to the old games, and I'm like, I can totally see it, because I'm not feeling lost, but I've been aware of Dragon Quest since the start, and I've dipped in and out of the series. So yeah, like, wait till you get to the king. I can't wait to talk to you about it. So maybe as of next week, listeners, just as a pre-warning, we will be spoiling some of the story. You know, we won't be ruining it completely, but I do want to discuss Bandy. And I mean, I'm sorry, this is a reissue. This is a deluxe version of a game that came out years ago now at this point. Like Dragon Quest XI came out a good 2-3 years ago at least, if not longer. This is the definitive edition, but I don't know, like, it is very cutesy, like you said, but I'd be interested to see you firing it up in your Series X, just so you can see the loading times, you can see what it looks like and go, cool. Because obviously the good thing about you playing it on...
The file will transfer over, which is cool as fuck. Yes.
That's what I was just thinking.
Which would not happen if I played it on the Switch, as I did with The Witcher, going to the console.
No, but you could plug your Switch in and it would be on the screen the same way, so...
Yeah, but it would still be...
And there's no lag on the Switch one, because it's not streaming.
I have not seen any lag at all looking at this game. So,
fair.
And it's not a game that you would notice lag in either, to be fair.
Nah, it's probably the perfect game for what you're like. The way that I never even thought about it. Like I said, I fired it up at work the other day, because usually I sit in the break room and I get my tablet and I get my switch, I get my phone, and I usually like just tether my tablet, watch YouTube. And I thought, do you know what? I'm firing the Kishi on, and I fired up Dragon Quest and went, yeah. And then somebody came up and asked me something. I went, do you know what? I'm not playing anything. I'm just going to leave it. And yeah, but that's cool that you're trying it out with this, and it's good that you're enjoying it. Like, obviously, you like JRPGs, so I knew you would like it. And the reason I'm pushing Fraser is because I know Fraser will love this, because this is his art style. I'm not saying Fraser likes all this, but it's Dragon. It's what's it called? Dragon Ball. That's what this game looks like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. It's a good game so far. Anyway, so that's what I got to say about it. For research, if Fred and me end up doing this show, I did download Dragon Quest 1, Andy, because it was on sale on the Switch for £2. I had it on I had it on my phone from ages ago. However, the phone will not let you play it this way. When you load up Dragon Quest, it will only work that way. And it's neatly designed so that you play with one hand, because it's got like kind of a joystick that appears here and it's above it. But that doesn't feel right to me, like just doing this. No. I would be fine if it could go this way. Yeah. The Switch game is the same remaster of the first game, so it looks a lot nicer, and it's fine. I have maybe played 2 hours.
It's the landscape.
Yeah, so I've maybe played 2 hours of the game, Andy. This game has one save. This is not fun. I'm just playing it for curiosity. There's got one save file. One place you can save, and it's at the start castle. There's no directions. You just have to talk to people in the village, and they kind of talk about stuff, and you have to go and investigate. Like, go over here, go here.
Want a quest?
There is kind of a quest. I haven't came across a dragon yet, so it's not done its namesake. But basically, what you have to do is the way it's designed is the areas are gated. You can go anywhere from the start. Like, you can see the end castle like across from the start castle. But basically, each area you enter has slightly stronger enemies. So it's designed to keep you out until you've leveled up enough. You know, it's one of those sort of games, which is different from Final Fantasy, the way that it works on the original one. So basically, like, your first area will be enemies like slimes and stuff that are fine, and then your next area, it's like skeletons, and they'll wipe you out if you go there too quick. But I don't have too much to report back on it yet. I was just playing it last night while I was watching you play not Returnal, Bloodborne, sorry. So... Yeah. I was just playing it for curiosity, because I want to be able to reference stuff, because I want to do this show. And who knows if Fred chooses, because Fred could choose another topic, because there's many topics me and Fred, like, I bounced Streets of Rage to him, and that could be one to do as well. So like Dragon Quest, I just wanted to do something that people wouldn't expect, because in my mind folk will expect me and Fred to do either Sonic, Resident Evil, or Final Fantasy, and I'm like, I don't want to do that with them, so we'll do something else.
I think Streets of Rage would be cool.
Streets of Rage would be really good, so that's maybe one as well. But yeah, Dragon Quest, I wanted to do some of my own research. And do you know what's it's piqued my interest? If I finish this game, Andy, I might have to play 5, because like I said, the way these people talk about 5 is like we talk about 7 it was the peak of the series. That's the best one. And like, you know, the movie Dragon Quest Your Story that came to Netflix, the sort of CGI one, that was based off of 5. Do you know what I mean? It's the most popular Dragon Quest. 3 apparently is really good as well, but that's the one that's getting remade, you know, in the Octopath Traveler style.
Yeah.
However, 5, the way that all these guys that I've been watching on YouTube, they talk about 5 like I would talk about 7, or you would talk about 7. So that's really piqued my interest. However, I think I need 11 to get me in, first of all, and see how I do with that.
Like 8 was the one that like people talked about for me, like because it was always the Western side, like when that came to PS2. Because I remember people buying that like.
Final Fantasy 8 didn't come to PS2.
No, Dragon Quest 8.
Dragon Quest 8 was the first one to come over here. Like, the first main one to come in Britain. Sorry, in PAL. I'll cover that, because in America they get Dragon Warrior 1, 2, 3, 4. Over here, 8. And do you know 11's the first main console release since 8, because all the rest have been handhelds?
That's funny. Like, you should play 8. That would be the one.
I own 8. I own it.
Like a PS2
Do you know
one?
no, on 3DS.
Ah, okay.
Which was the one that came with the full voice acting that wasn't in the PS2 because of limitations in the console. However, and it's something I'd want to talk about with Fred, the talk is, you remember that game Dark Cloud or Dark Chronicle? It was kind of... The 8 apparently started life as Dark Cloud or Dark Chronicle 3. Like, it didn't start. So I'd be interested to dive into that, because obviously Fred's like an encyclopedia when it comes to like this sort of research, and I know bits of this. 8 though is apparently really good, and it still looks really nice. Even the PS2 version looks nice to today. They've almost kind of, like you pointed out, it feels like a Nintendo game, and that's where it started life on Nintendo consoles. So like, there's almost a timeless look about most of these games, to be honest with you. There's some, when it hit the 3D era on the DS, that's maybe, but 5's one I want to check out. However, my issue with 5, Andy, £80 at your work, about the same on eBay. It's a high, no, it's not just your work, it's a high priced game, and it's available on phone for a tenner, which is reasonable, but I don't know if it's got landscape, and I ain't playing the game like that.
You should maybe watch a review of the phone version first.
I will, and if it's got landscape, then that's sold. That's not a problem to me, because I've played like Final Fantasy, I'm sure on the phone could play that way and it was fine. But I'm getting ahead of myself. 11's what we're talking about. So 11, I would say check it out if you're a JRPG fan and you're starved of stuff, or you're sitting waiting for like Game Pass.
Like, oh my god.
Or like I said, it's on sale.
Fucking hell. Mental.
It's on sale just now. And I mean, Dragon Quest, I keep calling it Dragon Age. Like Tasha said to me last night, what are you playing? I went, Dragon Age. I went, nope, I'm playing Dragon Quest. So I think it's good. And like I said, like Andy's kind of agreed, like he's playing it while watching Grey's Anatomy, so it's not as stressful. And this is what the guy's point was. It feels like a bedtime story. Nothing about it feels like, oh my god. Even when I died 2 or 3 times, I'm not going to lie, I died at these 2 guys in the King's Barrow or King's Barrow. I didn't feel I was beaten. I was just like, And it was after the 3rd time I went, do you know what? This is a JRPG. I haven't played a proper one of these for years. I clearly am at the wrong level here. This isn't a skill-based thing. So I went, and right enough, 2 levels away, I was like, cool, I can beat them. But this is what I mean. Like, see, Final Fantasy, how sometimes you'll come across a boss and he's like 10 levels, 20 levels above you.
Yep.
Apparently Dragon Age is very evenly balanced compared to Final Fantasy, so the enemies you'll meet, like you're not going to have to grind for hours. Like you're either at the level to beat them if you've been fighting along the way, or you're just under. And that's what happened to me. I was 2 levels under, so I fought some enemies instead of running past the whole dungeon, and lo and behold, I beat them. And like I said, see when the Super Saiyan moves come in, the pet move, you will get that after the whole thing with the king. And whatever happens there, I'm not going to tell you. And there's kind of a dungeon-ish after that. And there's a cool chase where you run towards the camera. I can't wait till you see that, because you go to like the bottom of the castle and stuff. The chase bit's really cool. I enjoyed it anyway. I would imagine you'll get there by next week, because that's within the first 2 hours normally of the game, depending on how long you're looking at the water. So yeah.
Nice.
But yeah.
I didn't look at the water at all, actually, in this game.
You'll get to see the waterfall in detail later on, because you have to go there for something. But yeah, I loved it, and so far the story's got me. I don't mean like, oh my god, story of the year. I just mean if you like an RPG, you're probably going to like this if you've played a Final Fantasy. So yeah, that's really all I played this week. I wasn't even on Fortnite, just Dragon Questing, and like I said, like if you want a way to play it, have your dinner, watch some TV, play some other games, go for a bath just before your bed and play an hour of Dragon Quest, or do what Andy does and watch Grey's Anatomy and play it on your phone.
Yeah.
But yes. Anyway, we will finish up there. A bit of a longer episode, almost the 2 hour mark there, after me starting by saying I can get this nailed to an hour. But that was because pre-3 hype. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching. Drop a like, share, subscribe, tell your pals, comment, whatever. Tell us if you like Dragon Quest, not Dragon Age, as I've probably said a million times. And yeah, I'll be back. Hopefully, it seems to be Thursday. Leo's been timing it every week for his teeth, so hopefully Thursday night we'll be able to. I'll be able to turn. But you can see us tomorrow night and every night of the week, Andy. And can you inform the lovely people what we're doing and where they can see us?
Yep, so on a Monday, every weekday at 9 p.m. UK time, you are getting content going up from us. So on a Monday, it's me still sucking at Bloodborne, 100% still sucking this week. Oh. On a Tuesday, you're here with the 40 to Level 1 podcast, where we talk about all the games that we've been playing for the week. On a Wednesday, it's Gears of Wednesday, where me and Ali play through the Gears of War series, currently on Gears 5, not of War. I think we're like 3 episodes or so into that. So
3 acts.
2 or 3 or something, yeah. So we'll be continuing on with that tomorrow night. Then on a Thursday, you've got Gad About Thursdays with Ali, where he does whatever the fuck he wants.
Sometimes nothing.
The last weeks it's been nothing. He's been dealing with his child. But hopefully we'll be back with some kind of video this week on something or other. And then on a Friday, you've got the 42 News show, where we wrap up all of the video game news stories all the week that you need to know about.
So thank you very much for joining us during this pre-3 time of the year. Hashtag pre-3. We will see you all tomorrow night, where you'll hear Andy and see us both playing Gears, but thanks to Xbox's wonderful streaming capabilities and functions, you'll not hear me. So I'll hopefully catch you on Thursday night, child aside, and feeling that we'll both see you on Friday. Thank you very much, and good night. Goodbye.
Good night.